It's a beautiful day today and we're reading about some more neckbeards. It's been way too long since we've done a neckbeard stories episode and I hope you guys are excited. It's going to be horrifying and also fun at the same time, and let's get into it. Neckbeard rage at Barnes & Noble. This happened back in August of 2022. I would have posted it here then since I used to browse here often, but I completely forgot about this subreddit for years until I suddenly remembered this place existed. It was the middle of the month and I was leaving for college in less than a week. Because of this, I was going to miss visiting my younger cousins for their 10th birthday. They're my only family on my mum's side that isn't in another country, and they live in the city, so we try to see them when we can. I noticed the last couple of times I saw them that they were watching Naruto on Netflix, and with their school starting up soon, I figured that they'd be spending less time watching TV. So I decided to get them the manga version to read. I also picked up the first 3 volumes of One Piece for them to try out, of which they're now huge fans of. I walk in and I head up to the second floor, pick out my manga, and I browse for less than 5 minutes before heading downstairs to check out. I reached the checkout line and I noticed there was something going on. There were 2 people ahead of me. A middle-aged woman in front of me was second in line, and a man currently arguing with a cashier over something. The man must have been somewhere between the age of 25 to 35, wore large baggy cargo shorts and a bright red shirt, and had a ginger beard along his neck, though not too wild. Think Burger Andy, only slightly less overweight. He was yelling at the cashier, a frail young girl who I couldn't even see being older than 18, about the deck of cards that were behind the counter. Apparently he'd been requesting one of them, but she was unfamiliar with them and couldn't find the right pair. Neckbeard was growing increasingly angrier by the second, just desperate to get his precious cards, demeaning this poor cashier for no reason, fumbling over his words. No, it's not. Why would I want that? It's not that freaking hard. The bottom pair. No, not that one. The woman ahead of me, along with some onlookers, were all bewildered to what was going on, and eventually he reached a breaking point, throwing his hands up in the air and shouting, "You know what? F this, and F you," and threw his books that he had onto the counter in front of the girl before storming out. The older woman scolded him for his attitude and he proceeded to flip her off before he reached the doors. The woman did go to another cashier and I went to the girl. I asked her if she was okay. She was, but also pretty bewildered that happened. Also, I noticed the books that he was going to check out because they were sitting right in front of me at the register, and upon a closer look I could tell that it was some sort of ecchi, which is basically softcore you know what. I couldn't tell you exactly what it was, but I vaguely remember the words sister and cute being in the title. I pay and walk out to my car, and when I get there I notice the neckbeard in the next row of cars over, talking loudly with somebody on the phone. Yeah, I know it's BS. I come all the way out here for this and they bloody ruin it. Damn it, man. I think he mentioned going back in, and I wish I stayed for that if he did, but I had somewhere to be, so I left. This has been the only sort of thing that's happened to me, and I don't think I'll forget it. Yeah, wow, imagine going into a shop and causing such a scene. How embarrassing. Like, no, that's not the right one. Get me the right one. What are you, useless? Come on. Yeah, that's kind of terrifying, OP. Terrifying, but also entertaining. The next one is called Neckbeard Asked Me to Have His Baby. Wow, what a title. I will preemptively apologize about any spelling mistakes. I typed this on my phone. I won't lie, I thought most of the stories about these guys were a little bit embellished. I thought to myself, wow, there's no way people like this really exist. I was wrong. Perhaps it was karma for being a non-believer. Who knows? I believe now, but I wished I could have remained ignorant. I'm 19, female, and a redhead. I say this only because it's important later. It happened Sunday, and a woman dared step foot into the local game store to browse. I enjoy your typical nerdy things like video games and anime, but I never make a show of it, especially to men, because I'll get the inevitable, do you really like this, or do you only like it because it's popular? That spiel or anime recommendations that are borderline hentai with a bland protagonist, and a woman with boobs bigger than their heads. It is difficult to find decent anime these days, what with the amount of fan service they throw in. It's sickening. There are a couple of customers beside me in the shop, and I made a beeline for the Nintendo section. After some minutes of deliberation, I chose one. If I remember correct, it was a Pokemon Scarlet, and I was reading the description on the back when I smelt it. I thought you guys had to have been exaggerating about the smell. Unfortunately, I was wrong. It was vile. It smelled like the gym changing room. The headache-inducing smell of sweat mixed with old fast food grease and rotting fish. I turn around and there behind me, slightly to my left, stands the neckbeard in all of his stinky glory. Like me, he looked to be a young adult overweight. The stained grey t-shirt he was wearing barely covered his belly. He had khaki shorts on and sandals, showing off some really nasty looking yellow toenails. His hair was so greasy that it practically glistened in the light, peppered with flakes of dandruff like Parmesan cheese. His beard a patchy mess stuck all over his face like somebody had glued it on unevenly. He reached down and scratched his ass with one flabby hand, breathing loudly through his mouth kind of like a pug. I turned back to the game in my hand, not wanting to make eye contact with the guy. After some thought, I put the game back and I moved on to the PlayStation section, but after I could, a raspy nasal voice spoke, "Your hair is very very pretty, the beard rasping. Thank you, I say, again making the move to walk away. I study genetics. Red hair is really rare. Only 1% of people have it, he says. I nod. Yeah, I know, interesting stuff, huh? The rest of the conversation is kind of blurry to me, but it was mainly me just nodding along trying to inch away, but the guy's just getting closer and the smell is almost making me gag. He tells me his mum had red hair and babbles on about some other stuff before saying, if me and you were to have a baby, it might have red hair. He chuckles and his beady little eyes are wandering to my chest. What? Who the hell says that? What the hell, dude? What the hell's wrong with you? I say in disgust, backing away immediately. I mean, who the hell says that to a complete stranger? The damn nerve of this guy. And the greaseball has the goal to continue. Yeah, I mean, you're a pretty girl. We would make pretty kids. I glare at the guy and he tapers off awkwardly. I immediately turn around and run to the counter area where the cashier and a few of the other customers were gathered. Horrified and disgusted, I hide behind another couple. Seriously, what a freak job. He shuffles out and makes his way over. It was just a compliment. I don't care. Go away. He glares at me. You don't have to be a biatch. Piss off, a-hole. My yell makes the other customers turn around to look at us. You biatch. I was just complimenting you. You women are always so hysterical. The cashier walks over and asks what's wrong. The beard tries to cut in and say that I'm overreacting, but I tell him to shut the hell up and leave me alone. After some more fighting, the greasebag leaves after the cashier threatens to call security. With one last disdainful look, he leaves. I have security walk me to my car. I'm so angry, like that wasn't a compliment. Screw that guy. Alas, that's the end of my tale. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure didn't. Wow, imagine telling somebody that you don't even know, oh, if we had a baby together. Like, come on. You're talking about if you had a baby to a complete stranger? That's a little bit much, isn't it? But yeah, good on you for standing up for yourself, OP. The next story is called Holiday Neckbeard. Last year between Christmas and New Year's, my friends and I got together to hang out at a mall, at a coffee shop. We were female, we're talking about games, mainly Assassin's Creed, and PC gear and hardware. In front of this coffee shop, there's a big geek store that sells manga and action figures and trading cards. I think we're talking a little bit too loud because a Neckbeard, with an anime shirt, all in black and smelling like he doesn't shower for weeks, came to our table and said, females shouldn't be enjoying and talking about this. This is a men's thing. We gave him an okay sign with our hands and continued. The dude threw a tantrum. He wanted attention. He was so loud that we couldn't talk in peace. At one moment, one of the girls said, really angry at him, you either shut up or I'm calling security. He then left us alone. Wow, okay. As much as I love reading about stuff like this, like, it is super entertaining. It's so sad that this even happened, you know? Like, why did they do that? Why did they feel like they needed to say that? Oh my god, you're a female? Oh my god. This is a man hobby. Get out of here. Like a what, bro? And yeah, was trying so hard to get a rise out of you guys. That's so frustrating. And also mildly concerning. Story number 4. I think my friend is becoming a neckbeard, or already is one. I didn't even know that neckbeard was a term, but when I heard about it and what symptoms are, I realized that my friend is one or is becoming one. I've known him for a very long time and he was always nerdy and messy, but in like 2 years he's gone bad. He's super awkward with people. He has the typical neckbeard nice guy gentleman manners when talking to women and thinks he's charismatic and mysterious, but really every woman is just disgusted. And overall, every girl that knows him just despises him. He's physically average or above, but lacks hygiene. He smells, his room is dirty and there's dishes everywhere. He doesn't have a hairstyle. It's just overgrown that's left from a buzz cut. He wears the same old worn out hoodies and gym pants. Has acne, but he doesn't take care of it. But he doesn't really have a neckbeard. So what's good, right? He is really into World War II and that kind of stuff. Overall, everything war related. He can be sometimes smart and good in school, but socially he's just not there like any at all. Normally he plays video games all day and goes to school. And actually I haven't heard from him for like a month because he's just that rejected from us. I think he is savable and I have been trying to help him sometimes, but I don't think it'll work. Update, he got a driver's license and has been going out with us more and feels more energetic and better. But the worst happened too. He started to grow a neckbeard and he is still awkward and bad around women, but at least he's getting some fresh air. The top comment says, I mean, honestly, your friend might just be depressed. And OP said, maybe a little. I thought about that too, and like I said, we have been trying to help him. That's good, OP. And the comment under that one says, I mean, if he isn't really bothering anybody or saying girls only date bad boys and not nice guys like me, then I don't see a problem. Just his hygiene is abhorrent. And OP said he has said that. And the other person said, okay, you've got a problem on your hands. Right, okay, so they've literally said that girls don't date nice guys like me. That is definitely a little bit more concerning. Okay, story number 5. Coworker asked me out right after I turn 18. Oh god. For context, I, 19, female, worked at a recently bought out southern grocery chain from ages 17 to 18 as a cashier. I turned in my 2 weeks after I wasn't transferred to another department, which is important later. The neckbeard, late 20s male, was a co-worker working in the produce department. I was really shy when I worked at this store, and my friends have told me that my general appearance, borderline emo, baby face, and commonly mistaken for somebody much younger, is literal bait for creeps. I low-key agree, as I have a lot of these stories, though this one is the worst. I'm not as shy now, as the job of eventually taught me not to care and to be myself. I was training for bakery on and off, which shared a prep room with produce. Now let's begin. Characters: me as myself, cashier at the grocery store, P, Neckbeard, typical anime nerd and co-worker. Okay, the main story. I turned in my 2 weeks, and on my next to last shift, about a month or so after I turned 18, I was approached by P as I was sweeping the front. He pulls me aside and asks me out in the classic catch dinner request. I had severe anxiety and a mild eating disorder at the time, and I remember the moment that he asked me. I felt like throwing up. Anyway, I thought he meant as friends, since he was almost 30, and I had just turned 18, right? He had known me since I'd turned 17, right? Yeah, because I wasn't sure if you had a boyfriend. Crap. At the time I was asexual, so I was like, no, and he kind of gets excited until I tell him, no, I don't want to go out with you, in the nicest, shyest way possible. Is it because I'm fat? Huh? That's your first thought? Not that I'm 10 years younger and that I'm barely legal. Now, P was an overweight man with a high-pitched voice and a balding head, and I was way smaller than him. I mean, yeah, I guess. Of course I didn't say that. I was scared to death and about to keel over. No, I'm just not ready. So he walks away with the idea that one day I may date him, which I let him. My mum picked me up that day and I told her. Then I mentioned the age gap, and she was pretty mad lol. Now, if you're like, oh, he doesn't seem too creepy, Exhibit B, my friends. Other occurrences before he asked me out, 17 during these. I can pick you up. So one day my co-worker G, 24 female, called me, and after some anxiety I pick up. It's P using her phone because she had my number, and he says that he needs somebody to help him in produce that day. My day off, by the way. Sorry P, my mum has to drive me. I can ask her, but I can come pick you up. What? Hell no, I'm not getting into a stranger's car. I also was already creeped out by this guy too. I'm glad that I said no lol. He had also asked out G, who was married and even smaller than me, so yeah, he had a type. Number 2, produce training shift because bakery and produce shared a prep room. When I had occasional bakery shifts, I also semi-worked with P, but one day I worked with him directly as he'd asked the manager to let him train me for it, which was odd because I showed no interest in produce. Anyway, the shift was awkward and he tried touching me a lot to show me how to cut fruit. I left early. Number 3, helping on register produce floor was right behind the registers, and I was on 5 or 6 a lot as a night shift cashier, so P would frequently talk to me on the register and was sometimes put on one, and he always talked to me and some of the other underage girls. Since I left, he has found a new workplace, small town, and came in almost every single week, gone through my register recently. So yeah, that's my short Neckbeard story. Sorry if it's not very interesting. Oh god. Yeah, that's not good. I hope you're safe, OP. That sounds like bloody stalker sort of stuff. Yeah, like this comment says, that man probably had your 18th birthday written on his calendar. Even if he didn't, he's still creepy. If he keeps coming into your new job and making you uncomfortable, be sure to let your manager know and hopefully they'll try to look out for you. Otherwise, keep family and friends informed so he can't try and contact you via them as well. If he keeps it up, you'll probably have to actually tell him to leave you alone. After that, if he bothers you again, you can report him for harassment. Yeah, that's so wild. Some of the stories on this subreddit are like super light-hearted and funny, and then other ones are horrifying. The next one is called, oh my god, it feels so good to tell a kid that Santa isn't real. I had to interrupt him and just said, it's so uncool. Like, what's the point of ruining a child's fun for a cheap laugh? Why make yourself look so ugly? It's pathetic and borderline childish. Edit, Jesus Christ, guys. I was just talking about a crappy coworker that took joy out of telling kids Santa isn't real. It doesn't have to be a debate on the morality of letting kids believe in fables. Yeah, imagine taking joy in that. That's so unbelievable. Like, imagine saying it feels good to do that. Ew, that's so sad and cringe. Sad cringe, you might even say. I feel like we should read 2 more. Obvious Neckbeard customer at Carl's Jr. I work at Carl's Jr. and I had the most bizarre experience. A man who was at least 300 pounds came through the drive-thru wearing a fedora, a big neckbeard, a black trench coat, and dark black sunglasses. He had an obvious fake British accent. I live in the US. He looked like he was somewhere between 25 and 35. He had very long straight hair that was all over his lap and some of it was dangling down the cracks of his seat. He had a very neckbeard voice and the first thing he said was, salutations, and while ordering he passed and said, gotta order in a fashionable manner. When I asked him to pull up to the window he said, duly noted. He said again when I asked him to park in the front. He politely waited and was chill. I brought the food out and he was listening to brony music on his radio. I said, have a nice day, and he said, likewise. It was so odd. It wasn't bad. Like, I'm sure he's a nice person. I've just never seen somebody so mature yet so childish, so stylish yet so bland, so awkward but so based. I wish him the best. Oh, that's a wholesome one. That's so cute. And that's such a good way of describing it too. So stylish yet so bland. That's so nice. Like, yeah, you can 100% be a neckbeard and not be a bad person. That's so cute. And on that wholesome note, I feel like that's enough for today. I also am definitely struggling to find anything else new to read. So yeah, I'm sorry if this episode is a little bit shorter than normal, guys, but that was a whole bunch of fun and I'll make a new episode on here as soon as I can. And yeah, hope you had a wonderful time, guys. Time for something wholesome. My girlfriend just said I love you for the first time and I think I'm gonna melt. We were just sitting on the couch watching YouTube and she looked up at me and said, hey baby, I love you, for no reason. person, and I think I died. This is what I imagine drugs feel like. We're still just chilling, and I just coolly said, I love you too. But on the inside, I'm screaming, what the hell? This is pure bliss. Oh, that's so beautiful. Congratulations. That would have been such a good moment. I heard my dad playing guitar, and I walked in to find this. Wow, that's so cute. Playing for my favorite audience. That's amazing. I bet you weren't expecting that, but that's a really nice surprise. So, what are your simple pleasures? Chaos and destruction, and also naps. Yeah, cats are so funny. And also, it's funny how accurate that is. Gotta have a little bit of both. Naps and also chaos. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did, and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to Nirvana. If you were minding your own business, you wouldn't have time to mind mine. Yeah, that's such a good quote. That was on one of our Karen episodes, I'm pretty sure. That's always the issue in those stories. They're not minding their own business. And that's where the issues start. Yeah, that's such a good quote. Thank you for the support, everybody. It means so much to me. Let me know down below if you enjoyed today's episode, and also let me know down below what you want to see next, and I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you look after yourself, and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!